Grab your favorite beverage. It's time for Porch Therapy with Edward Dino and Keith Villery. Hey, Edward, how's it going?
It's going well, Keith. Good to see you.
What's been happening?
I mean, so much has been happening. One of the things that we have neglected to talk about is LSU winning the World Series.
I know.
Isn't that
how
fabulous?
Exciting was that? And the kid who pitched, is just got picked number 3.
Yeah. Went to our old high school.
Yeah, went to St. Paul's and lives in Mandeville in
Madisonville.
Yeah, so it's pretty wonderful. I think a couple of kids from LSU are going to be in the pros next year.
Mm-hmm.
But that was pretty amazing that they seemed to come out of nowhere.
Yeah. Anyway, it was, but of course our president really just doesn't fail. I mean, he just can't. You just think, oh, we've got so much to talk about, and then 2 or 3 days later, it's
something new.
Next thing you know, they catch him cheating at golf. Yeah.
That was so funny. He's on this international stage playing golf at a golf course that he thinks is the best in the world, and you see his caddy toss a ball behind him so that Trump doesn't have to hit out of the sand or whatever, And it's like Trump cheats at golf is now the headline.
I mean, you'd mentioned that to me, and it's just, he's over there with all the allies and everybody sees him. Of course, it's like what he always says. I hear people are saying this, or he never takes responsibility for anything.
Oh, no, I'm sure it was the caddy's fault.
Yeah, of course.
But it was pretty funny because, he's worked a deal with the EU on tariffs, and it gets overshadowed by the fact that he's cheating at golf.
It's pathetic.
It is pathetic. But everything, that Epstein thing just doesn't seem to want to go away. And he's fueling the fire. He sends his personal attorney, who now works for DOJ, to give Maxwell immunity to talk about, for 2 days, to talk about who went to the island, and then he comes out after that and says, well, I never went to the island, but Bill Clinton went there 28 times. And it's just, it's like, and not only that, but then to distract, he wants to bring Obama up on treason charges.
Isn't that incredible?
And he wants to also investigate Beyonce and Oprah. It's like all these black people.
Get them off the streets.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's like, and it's not a distraction because people just write it off right away. It's like, wait a minute. Don't you remember that the Supreme Court gave presidents immunity? Oops.
You're right. You're right. So has there been any talk about Maxwell being actually offered immunity? No. Trump said, it's. I hadn't thought about it really. Right. I mean, who's going to believe that?
He said that Friday and again on Monday.
Yeah,
he hadn't thought about it over the weekend.
Thought about immunity. Can you imagine?
No, they gave her immunity to speak to the attorney, but he hasn't thought or talked about a pardon. Now, her attorney said, well, he did say he has the authority to pardon her. And the attorney said, well, we hope he makes the right decision. So I don't know. She was, there could be 1,000 victims out there, which is really incredible to think that this guy, and not Trump, but Epstein in particular, and Maxwell, were doing this to underage kids. It's horrible.
The callousness to date of the treatment of these girls.
Of the victims.
The victims is just unbelievable. Lives were just destroyed and so much human suffering. Now, he wished Maxwell well.
He did. He wished her well after she was convicted.
But, they tried to unseal the testimony at the grand jury without even consulting the the victims. They have tried to talking about, letting everything that's relevant. The victims have not been even an afterthought. They're not even an afterthought.
Right. Yeah, it's pretty incredible that, of course, everything is about Trump. It's like, well, he's deflecting. He's not involved. He was a good friend of Epstein, but doesn't know anything about anything. Although, one of the victims actually worked at Mar-a-Lago. And Trump is changing his tune. That first he said, oh, I banned him from Mar-a-Lago because he's a creep. And then he said, well, I banned him from Mar-a-Lago because he poached one of our girls to go,
Isn't that astounding?
It's incredible.
I mean, what he'll say, the things that he will just say and do in public and not feel like there's any threat for repercussions.
Yeah.
Is just astounding.
Well, it's interesting. I was listening to a podcast of the Bulwark coming over here, and they were talking about, the fact that 77 million people voted for Trump. Mm-hmm. And they were saying, well, what was this whole thing about? Who wants him to release these records? Of course, the Democrats are okay with releasing the records, even if they're Democrats involved. Mm-hmm. They think people should be accountable. I mean, look, Al Franken got kicked out of Congress because he made a lewd gesture, on a USO tour. But 77 million people voted for him. They were saying, well, who are the QAnon? I mean, Marjorie Taylor Greene is out there saying, hey, I'll release him. I want to see everything. Mm-hmm. If Trump's in it, so be it. But, they're saying that, it's a small percentage, maybe 10%. Well, that's 7 million people out there who believe that the Democrats are drinking babies' blood and that there's this whole trafficking of underage girls. And it's all Democrats doing it, they believe. And I wonder if, Trump's name does come up, if they're just going to make an excuse. Because they make an excuse for everything else.
Who knows? I mean, I can't imagine being inside a head like that. Yeah. I mean, Trump himself said he could shoot someone on Fourth Avenue and he wouldn't lose a supporter.
Yeah,
I mean, he understands his supporters a lot better than I do.
He certainly does.
I truly don't understand it.
I don't really have any real. Well, yeah, I do. MAGA friends. I mean, I have a couple that are, believe every conspiracy theory and all make excuses for everything that happens for Trump, anything that happens bad. They're not real close friends, but I do have some people that were friends of in high school that I still know.
Yeah. Well, I refer to them as the Trump chumps because they will believe anything.
They are pretty believable.
I mean, they're all buying his Bibles. They're voting they're supporting things that are going to really impact them negatively. They gave money supposedly to Bannon to build the wall, and he stole it from them.
Unbelievable.
I mean, it's amazing that these people will fall for this stuff. And Trump knows how to play him. He knows exactly what he's doing and how to play him.
And I think that he hits everybody, a single issue voter. If it was abortion or if it's I want to buy gold tennis shoes.
Right.
It's a single issue voter, and he's got them. And so it doesn't matter. The guy who likes the tennis shoes doesn't really care about if he's in Epstein's list.
Right. Well, you don't know. I just don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't, I tell you, one of the things that was just astounding to me is that he threatened to, or he did, levy a tax on Brazil and say it was because basically he didn't like the way they were treating their former president. Didn't even make a suggestion that it was due to a national emergency.
Right.
Didn't even pretend that it was under
It was a coup.
Yeah.
A failed coup.
But he didn't even pretend it was under an American national emergency, which is the only way that he can even pretend to have power to tariff.
But,
he didn't even try to make it look like that.
Yeah.
And there's been no blowback. There's been no.
Well, you look at what he's did. The first foreign trip he takes is to the Middle East.
Mm-hmm.
He goes to Qatar. They give him a new jet. And did you hear recently they took 900, what is it? Can't be billion, but it must be million out of a fund that was supposed to be used for some sort of
pablum for poor babies.
No, no, but they've secretly transferred it to another fund, and that new fund is going to fix his jet that he's going to take with him to his library after his term's over, which is the emoluments. It's out the window. The Congress is supposed to really be the oversight, and of course they're afraid of him, and so there's no oversight. Mike Johnson is no oversight, and he got the House to recess for the August vacation because they were talking about a vote on the Epstein files.
Yeah,
so he sent them home.
That's
so they
astounding.
Vote on it.
That's astounding.
It is.
That
They're all complicit.
Yeah, and that shielding the president becomes like the major function of Congress, that we'll shut it down to shield the president.
Yeah, and everything that's happening with the DOJ and the FBI and all of these organizations is purely to protect.
And the whole sham about revealing the testimony at the grand jury. I mean, first of all, you're not going to get it. You're going to be able to blame it on the Clinton-appointed judge.
Right.
There's nothing there, even if that was just such an insult to the victims.
You talk about grand jury. I just read where the U.S. attorney in California, who had I don't know how many people arrested for the protests when they did the protests, and they sent the National Guard and they sent the Marines in and they arrested these people, and then he brought these people to the grand jury to try to indict him or to try to charge him, and the grand jury wouldn't charge him, and he's screaming, and it's like, well, I thought the grand jury could indict a ham sandwich.
Right. Yeah. Well, if you're any good, if the prosecutor's any good,
but couldn't do it and ICE was lying. They were changing the videos showed the opposite. They were charging one woman for pushing an ICE guy, and he actually pushed her.
Yeah.
It was just this whole. They're sloppy, and they don't know what they're doing. The only people that know what they're doing is Project 2025.
Boy, do they.
They're under the surface, and they're the ones that are getting all the work done and changing the government. And Trump is just playing golf and he's now a billionaire. I don't think he ever was. He had a lot of property, but he was in big debt. With the crypto and with the selling perfume and gold sneakers, he now probably is a billionaire. I think he is for sure.
Well, I'm sure all the people there's a lot of people hoping he does well, that's got a $80-some-odd million judgment against him. I know she's wishing him well financially.
Well, it's amazing. He has so much judgments against him, so many judgments against him. How much does he owe? Like hundreds of millions of dollars by now. They're never going to see it. He's going to die before that. He's already 78, so he's going to string it out until his estate will have to deal with it. And, it's just unfortunate for E. Jean Carroll, who, he wronged her. She won in court, and then he kept defaming her. And
even in violation of court orders.
And so then she got even more money out of him, and she can't, she got a judgment, but she doesn't, how do you collect on a judgment? Well, he's going to appeal, and hopefully he hopes it goes to the Supreme Court, which I don't think it ever will in that particular case. But I mean, he just sued Rupert Murdoch.
Yeah, how whacked
He's 94.
Out is that? Yeah.
Excuse me.
I like it. $20 billion to ruin his reputation. My God, is Trump's reputation really worth $20 billion?
They say no.
Well, that's going nowhere. I mean, as soon as they subpoena him for a deposition,
Well, he wants to subpoena Murdoch early because he's 94 and he's afraid he's going to die.
It's going to be the battle,
Oh, my God. And going back to Maxwell, she actually has been subpoenaed to testify in front of Congress in August. And she wants immunity to do that. She wants all the questions asked before she gets there. She doesn't want to be in her prison cell when they're asking them. She wants to be somewhere else. So, they have these two things going on. You got Trump sending his personal attorney.
Astounding.
Who's now in the DOJ. And you've got Congress who actually finally subpoenaed her. And, I mean, there's going to be a reckoning at some point.
Raising the specter of a pardon is just so offensive. I mean, this is a woman that participated in raping of minor girls, who has been charged with perjury. Charged with perjury, has absolutely nothing to offer of any value except to maybe save Trump. For him to raise the specter of a pardon to save his own skin is one of the most despicable things that I think he's done and may ever do.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's amazing that that we're at that position, is that, this Epstein thing may bring Trump down, even though we don't know if he's done anything wrong. But he's protesting so much. Seems like there's got to be some reason that he's doing what he's doing.
I mean, is he acting like an innocent person?
Not at all.
No, I mean,
if he was innocent, all those records would be out.
Well, I just wanted to make that. I mean, just raising the specter of a presidential pardon is despicable.
Yeah, I mean, the victims are probably freaking out.
Oh, I mean,
and their families.
Yeah, I mean, that's just unbelievable.
Yeah. So what's going to happen in 2026? I mean, it'll be here before we know it. And, what's happening is it looks like he's trying to get Texas. He's told Texas to get him 4 more.
He's told, that's right. He's instructed them to gerrymander.
Right. Which I'm sure they'll be compliant in doing.
Yeah.
And then you have Newsom over in California who says, well, if he's going to do it there, we'll do it here. And, I don't know. I'd like to know, and I'll probably do a little research for the next one, excuse me, that how many potential seats are there in blue states and how many potential seats are there in red states? The red states are less popular.
Well, yeah, but you also take a look at how many blue seats are available in red states. Yeah. I mean, Louisiana is a prime example of that.
Well, they're trying to get rid of the one that they just opened.
Yeah, I mean, you have a 1/3 population, and instead of having 2 out of 6, which would be 1/3, they want to run with 1 out of 6. So and they picked up 1 in Alabama. I think there's probably a lot of blue seats in red states too. One of the things is that the blue states have taken the politics out of it and turned it over to commissions.
Yeah, why do the right thing? Huh?
Well, as I say, the Democrats are great at governing and bad at politics, and the Republicans are good at politics and bad at governing.
Boy, that is so true.
And
so I don't know, if Texas does this, if California does it, what about New York?
New York is a prime. I mean,
what happens in Massachusetts? But I think you're right. A lot of those some of them have actually done constitutional amendments to restrict gerrymandering in some of the blue states.
Yeah, they've turned it over to bipartisan commissions and stuff like that. Yeah. I don't know many red states that have done that.
No.
But the red state, keep in mind you have 2 red states that the electoral vote's done by congressional district. Like Maine used to be a red state. Yeah. It's not now, but it does, and Nebraska has that.
Well, I mean, and it also looks like there's going to be Susan Collins is going to be challenged. In our state, in Louisiana, Cassidy, I mean, we've already got a guy putting signs up against Cassidy, a MAGA, that's,
Yeah, did you send me that campaign thing of him shooting his gun?
No, I don't think I did.
Oh, you got to see this. I'll send it to you.
It's for the MAGA candidate.
Yeah, well, he's definitely a MAGA candidate.
Oh, definitely is,
yeah, he's all we know about him is he can shoot a gun from his.
He can shoot a gun.
That's all we know. Wow. From his advertisement.
Well, that would qualify him in Louisiana.
That ought to do it. That would do it.
But I mean, we know that Amaga's running against Cassidy, and unfortunately, our former governor said he's not interested in running. So I guess the polls are saying a Democrat can't win.
Or he really may not want to. It's not. And we both said this. It was a lot of fun when we were doing it, but would you do it today?
I
wouldn't do it today.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I mean,
locally, a young friend of mine who is a retired military and actually got a PhD while he was in the military. He's just retired and moved back to town as a retired colonel. And he actually looked at running against Steve Scalise. He checks the boxes. He's a retired military. He's an independent. Mm-hmm. He's from the North Shore, which there's a lot of people who would like to have a representative from the North Shore. And after looking at it for a long time, he just said, no, he thinks he's going to run for mayor of Covington, which I'm very excited about. And so trying to meet with him and see it's a short fuse. It's a 2026 election. But I think you're seeing a lot of ex-military. Syracuse University has started a program for ex-military to train them on how to run for office. So I think you're going to start seeing a lot of ex-military people running for Congress and running for Senate.
Yeah, you're seeing them running as Democrats. And another profession you see are former prosecutors.
Oh yeah.
I mean, a lot of
especially now because a lot of them have been
a lot of Democrat senators are former prosecutors.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to admit that impeachment team was pretty darn good, and most of them were former prosecutors.
Yeah, I think. You're right. You're definitely right. So
I think Kamala Harris. There you go.
She was sure. But I just wonder in 2026, with the midterms. I mean, normally the midterms are not good for the party that's in power, and we don't need very many pickups to be able to control the House, and that would completely change the dynamics of what's happening right now, because then we would have oversight and we would have congressional hearings on some of this craziness that's going on.
Yeah, like tariffs. You said something at the last podcast that I thought about, and you said, we could have a big swing in 2026, so we could maybe change 20 seats. And there were days when
they changed 40.
They changed 70.
70.
Those days have been
probably gone.
Well, at least for now they're gone, and it's because of the gerrymandering and that type of thing.
And the cult, the MAGA cult,
and the cult.
And the MAGA cult is strong. Look, as much as you look at Trump's numbers, I've seen everything from 39 to 40 something percent approval ratings, and even in immigration, economy, he's underwater and all that.
Yeah.
Still, Republicans are 85% with him. They're still solid behind him. As crazy as it is, They want the power. It's all about power, and it's about money, as evidenced by the latest bill that was just passed.
After Watergate, I think there was 74, something like that, seats that changed. And what's going on now is nothing. I mean, when Watergate was nothing compared
to what's happening
now.
No doubt about it.
I mean, and you're not going to see anywhere near
using the government to cover up.
Well, that was going on in Watergate,
but it's happening now too.
Not only is it used to cover up, it's used for personal corruption. I mean, this government is more corrupt probably than any government.
I don't know.
Maybe even
look at that Teapot Dome scandal.
Yeah, I have a suspicion it was nothing compared to this.
Compared to what's going on right now.
I mean, you got to remember, we've got a cryptocurrency strategic reserve in case of an emergency, the government needs to have money that can't be traced.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's so much different than.
So we could give money to North Korea and never be able to trace it with our cryptocurrency
reserve. They could give money to us.
Yeah, I mean, it's all.
Yeah. They could give money straight to Trump.
Yeah, right. I mean, I hope we have a big reserve because it could come in handy.
Yeah, it's you start thinking about it and it's kind of depressing. I haven't really watched news since the election. I mean, I read it on my phone.
I know you're very well informed.
I am informed. I read the New York Times and I read the Guardian and I read the Republic and I read all these other these socialist propaganda. Unfortunately, they're all true. And the right-wing media, I mean, what's his name? Joe Rogan came out this week and said it's a red line. The Epstein thing is a red line he has with Trump. Now, he helped Trump get elected. And Joe Rogan has a lot of people who watch him. He's a lot better, actually, than what's the crazy guy?
Alex Jones. Yeah, who slandered the people the kids that were killed at Sandy Hook.
And the other guy who got the Medal of Freedom, what was his name?
Rush?
Yeah. Rush
Who
Limbaugh.
would listen to Alex Jones? That's what I'd love to know.
Unless you're looking for comedic.
I mean, a court-determined liar. I mean, this is literally someone who has been certified by the judicial system to be a liar.
Yeah.
And there's, millions of people listening to him.
So was Fox News.
Fox the same way. I mean, of course, you have to say, hand it to Fox. Martin said it wasn't about red or blue, it was about green. And boy, is he showing that's the case. I mean.
Well, that's what's interesting about Murdoch right now, coming out with the book, the birthday book that was given to Epstein allegedly had a drawing from Trump. Right. And he said, well, I don't draw. And then they show all these pictures.
It was sold that he donated to charity,
of his drawings.
I mean, there may be people out there that think that the president's a liar.
I can't imagine anybody thinking that he tells the truth ever.
Well, that's your right. That's your right. But
that's my First Amendment right.
That is your right to think that. And but there are people out there that believe he doesn't tell the truth. I mean,
there are. I don't think it was 30,000 the first time. And I think they stopped counting.
Yeah, well, you got. I mean, you really. They should have one of those billboards with the counter that goes up.
You're right. That would be a good one. I saw that that the Democratic Party is putting out some billboards, and they're putting out billboards about the big bad bill, and talking about healthcare. That these healthcare facilities are going to be closing because of the bill. And so I think they need to put those Republicans who voted for that bill. You need to put their picture on there, because if Morris Bart uses billboards, they have to be effective. And Morris Bart uses them all over the city of New Orleans.
All over the South. All over the Gulf South.
Yeah, you go to the Gulf Coast. And
yeah.
So I think that the Democratic Party is going to start that. But it was an orange or a yellow billboard, and it talked about the big bad bill and the fact that it was going to close healthcare facilities. They need to tie that to a specific individual in a district. And I think that would be very effective for people riding around, because a lot of people don't know what's going on. They don't read the news. They don't watch the news they get their news from the weatherman, the weather station.
Yeah.
They watch weather because, hey,
yeah, you got to watch
especially right now in Louisiana. We're getting ready to go into August and hurricane season.
That's what they said.
And I can't imagine having a hurricane and not having FEMA help clean up. I mean, I've been through every major hurricane that's hit Louisiana since I was born.
How about having a hurricane and not knowing it's going to hit?
And not even knowing it's in the Gulf.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and you have what's his name? Trump is the weatherman with the Sharpie gate.
He's got a Sharpie. It's going to go this way.
Yeah, the whole weather infrastructure said it's going one way, and he showed it.
And I'm waiting for it to hit that alligator Alcatraz.
Oh Lord, yeah. I don't. It's just astounding. It truly is astounding.
Well, I think we've come to the end of another podcast, and let's try to do another one next week. We missed the Bastille Day.
We missed the one about Bastille Day, and even though I hope we didn't disappoint all of our French viewers out there, we promised we were going to do a Bastille Day and highlight alligator Alcatraz in El Salvador, and even not only our local American prisons, but all of the prisons where Americans have been taken off. Yeah. We want to highlight all of those, and hopefully one day the United States citizens will show the courage that the French citizens have over the years. And
I have a couple of French people that I am in communication with. I'm going to send them our podcast and see if they can send it to their friends.
Well, yeah, we could. I mean, even though our viewership, at least as it was reported to us, was skyrocketing in France.
111.
Yeah, the latest that we saw, we were 111th of all podcasts on American politics.
But Bastille Day was a storming of the Bastille, which was part of the French Revolution, and they're building some huge centers. What are they calling them? Detention centers. They got one in Texas. They said it's going to be massive. It's going to be huge. And the guy that's building it, I think it's like $1.2 billion to build.
No, I wonder who he voted for.
Well, the guy who got the contract, the biggest project he's ever done, $16 million. Oh boy.
Well, how about the guy down in Puerto Rico that got the contract to restore Puerto Rico after the hurricane? He had one employee. I mean, but he was a good support. He was loyal.
He was
really loyal.
Okay, Edward. Well, until next time.
Keep up the good work.
Keep it up and keep on going. Keep on keeping on. That beautiful music is Zach Villery. Check him out on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, or wherever you get your music.